So there's a couple of ways you can get from Cooktown up to the tip. You can go back out and via the highway, but we've chosen, because we want to see Lakefield National Park, we're taking Battlecamp Road to Lakefield Road, and then Lakefield Road will take us through Lakefield National Park, or Rinyirru National Park, and we'll intersect a bit further north on the PDR, which is the Peninsula Development Road, I think around the Musgrave Roadhouse. Anyway, we've just hit the start of the Endeavour Battlecamp Road. We're about 6 kilometres in and it turns to gravel. It's not corrugated or anything yet, so good condition. So we're going to stop once the condition deteriorates, and once we start hitting corrugations, then I think we'll stop and air down our tyre. Cool. So the track has started to get a little bit corrugated now. It's not bad, but we figure better safe than sorry. We're moving pretty slowly anyway, doing around 60 k's per hour. So I figure I'll jump out and air down. Anyway, we're going to run the same air pressures that we ran on the Gibb River Road. It worked for us then. Why wouldn't it work for us now? So I'm going to do 30 on the front tyres on the car, 35 on the rear, and 40 on the van, all round. So anyway, it's raining out here, so you don't need to hang around. I'll get it done and we'll see you back on the road.
Alright, I'm going to run you through just quickly a few things we do to avoid the dust in the van, especially to get ready for these corrugations. So we've taped up the vent on our step. I've just taken this gas bottle, the fire hydrant out. It just has this plastic holder, and I just don't want the weight of it tearing the thing out and breaking while we're hitting the corrugations. We find it best to just keep our television and laptop bag on the bed when we're travelling. It hasn't gone anywhere so far. All of our overhead cupboards, just taken anything heavy out and just really left it minimal in there. We're lucky we travel reasonably light anyway, but everything heavy we've got down low. And the last bit of prep that we've done inside the van is just taped up this oven. So I've just got a bit of tape here. I've put a cloth in between just to stop this glass from bouncing. And then when we use the oven, while we are travelling in these sorts of conditions, we just bring the tape down, go ahead and use our cooktop, and when we're done, get it ready to travel again the next day, and that seems to last us. Anyway, that's about it really.
Hey, how'd you go, Darren?
Yeah, good.
All good. So you've shown the guys what we do inside to prep up for these kinds of roads, dusty, dirty and corrugated roads, get everything heavy down low, stop up all the holes with some tape and things like that. Anyway, the other thing that I like to do is go around with a caulking gun and some silicone or some whatever, and I get in under the bed and under the cupboards and everything when it's bright and sunny outside, and I look for light and I stop up every little hole I can to stop, because that dirt will get in anywhere it can. The other thing I like to do is just go around and check all my nuts and bolts and everything that's bolted onto the outside of the van, the outside of the car, that kind of thing, because these corrugations, if it's going to come loose, it'll come loose on these roads, and it's better to tighten those things up, find those things before you set off, than to lose it on the road along the way. Anyway, if you want to come inside now, I've got a map. I want to show you through quickly the route that we're going to take and how we're going to attack Cape York and our trip to the tip. Be right back. Alright, cool. So we've just aired down. Before we head off, I'll give you a quick rundown on the route we're going to take. We are towing the van, but we're not taking it all the way to the tip, because we want to check out as much of the Old Telegraph Track as we can without being tied down to our van. So we are currently leaving Cooktown and we're on the Endeavour Battlecamp Road. Now you can take the Endeavour Battlecamp Road straight to the Peninsula Development Road. The PDR is the main road that runs north-south pretty much all the way up to the tip, at least up until the Old Telegraph Track. It's supposed to be in pretty good condition, but we'll see. We're coming late in the season, so it could be all carved up, it could be heavily corrugated, but we don't know. Anyway, so from here we're taking Battlecamp Endeavour Road to Lakefield Road, because we want to see Lakefield National Park on our way through, or Rinyirru National Park. That'll bring us back on to the PDR around the Musgrave Roadhouse. From there, we're taking the car and the van all the way up to Bramwell Junction Roadhouse, which is where the fun begins. So we're going to take our van off there and pop the swags on the roof, and that's when we're going to start poking in and looking at the Old Teletrack. So if you haven't heard of the Old Teletrack, you've been living under a rock. It is Mecca for four-wheel drive enthusiasts. It is littered with some serious four-wheel drive obstacles, deep river crossings, and of course the infamous Gunshot Creek. If you haven't heard of that, you got to check it out. Anyway, we're not huge four-wheel drive enthusiasts. If you've watched our show and you've been following, you know that we're just picking up bits and pieces as we go. So we're not out there to get stuck. We're not out there to wreck our car. We've still got the whole east coast of our lap around Australia to do. So we're in no rush to go breaking our Land Cruiser. But we still want to have as much adventure as we possibly can. So we're going to poke in and take a look at the Old Teletrack. We're travelling with some friends that we've met along the way, and they are super keen four-wheel drivers, so who knows what they can sway us to do. Anyway, so once you get to the Old Teletrack, you don't have to drive it. You see this section here? This is the Old Teletrack, which follows the Old Telegraph line route in almost a perfectly straight line, but there are sections that bypass the Old Teletrack. So if you've no intention of driving these obstacles, you can go around, and people regularly do, and they also regularly take their caravan all the way up to the tip along those roads. This section down here is called the Southern Bypass, and the section up the top all the way to the Jardine River crossing, the Jardine River ferry, is called the Northern Bypass Track, and they're all parts of what I believe are called the Pajinka Road. Cool, so it only looks like there's a small queue. I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 other vehicles, and it says to pay the fees at the service station before proceeding. So we'll just pull up here, stop in. You can see this little office here on my right, Jardine River Ferry. FPOS only, that's good. I'll go in, pay up, return ticket, and I'll let you know all about it once we get back. See you soon. Cool, so it's $120, $121 return, which I think is a bit steep, but anyway, you got no choice here. You can't drive it, so you got to take the ferry. But they've got these free booklets too, so tell us all about the Northern Peninsula Area, so we can have a read and figure out what it is we want to see and do. Anyway, we'll get on the ferry and show you what it's all about. 121 bucks. Just a quick one, if you are towing a caravan or something like that, or you've got a long departure angle, make sure you go off that ferry on an angle, because you will take out your bum. we have just pulled up for the night. We're at a gravel pit free camp just outside of south of Lakeland. Today we drove the entire Peninsula Developmental Road from Bramwell Junction Roadhouse all the way south out of Cape York, and I'm just about to open up the caravan. Just get the step and give you a quick run through how it went for dust. Geez, I tell you what, it was hectic. We were following a couple of road trains at one point and visibility was absolute zero. We were down to 40 k's. The corrugations were actually really, really bad. I'm going to go as far as to say, if you can avoid towing your caravan up the PDR, avoid it. Just take the swags or whatever. Anyway, let's go have a look, check it out. So, as I mentioned earlier, we've got this one little bit of tape over here, over the step well vent, because we do get dust in there if we leave it off. We take it off if we're going to be in the van for long periods of time, if we're going to be doing cooking and stuff like that. I think it's to let heavy gases and things like that fall to the ground and vent out. Anyway, come inside, we'll have a look and see what the dust situation is like. Check it out. All right. Yeah. Just like I thought, zero dust. There is nothing. No dust on any of the surfaces, any of the beds. We are laughing, okay? Like I said, Jayco All Terrain for the win. It's a 2022, ordered it in 2021. It's got no dust reduction system. We had planned on putting one in, but missed out, and unnecessary. I imagine it might be good for some people who have different design vans or a lot more hatches than we do, but for us, we didn't need it. Couple of things I will mention though. You will see we've put tape over the top of the stove and onto the handle of the oven door. This stops, we do find that the stove top rattles loose and comes out of its hinges, and we just put a couple of tea towels in there to protect it while it's rattling. We have had one casualty today, which was the inside of the oven door, the glass. But I tell you what, I hit at top speed a massive dust hole that I just didn't see. It was filled with dust and it was so deep, it scared the absolute bejeebers out of me. But we stopped, pulled over to assess the damage, and sure enough, the glass had broken. Another thing that we noted too, and we've noted a couple of times today, so on 2 occasions, that our drawers have been opening. So we've just simply put a bit of duct tape on them to stop them coming back open. That's worked. They haven't opened since we put the duct tape on, but not ideal. So we might look into either some more heavy duty latches or some additional latches, maybe like the childproof things or something like that, to keep them from coming open when we're on heavily corrugated and super undulating roads. But otherwise, we love our Jayco, we love our all-terrain. I want to give a quick shout out to the Jayco crew in Cairns. We took our van there before we headed off. We had a couple of minor items, aesthetic items and things that we wanted dealt with. Mostly a lot of it's just wear and tear from us using the thing all day, every day, because we live in it full time, and they took care of everything, no questions asked, completely under warranty. It didn't cost us a cent. They squeezed us in at the last minute, short notice. So big shout out to the Jayco crew in Cairns. We're going to go see them tomorrow and see if they can give us some glass for the oven too, which I reckon they'll be able to sort us out. So anyway, stay tuned. We'll try and do some more videos like this. Of course, like and subscribe, and make sure you check out our full travel episodes too. We just hit Cape York and we're going to have some awesome episodes of us driving the Old Telegraph Track in Cape York. So stay tuned, and as always, rock and roll.